Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to the live stream trade setup for the 19th of October. Okay, we'll do the usual. We'll go through a few things today. Like I said, anything anyone wants to look at, you can put it into chat. Welcome to put it into chat, whether it's a stock, anything at all, even if you want to have a look at a currency, a futures contract. Well, futures we might be a bit limited on what we can look at, but feel free to put anything in and we'll take a look at the setups, maybe longer term, shorter term, whatever we want. Yeah, you can either put it through chat or, like I said, if you're not able to look at the actual live stream, but you still wouldn't mind going over something, feel free to email it through to support@tradesetup.com.au. So support@tradesetup.com.au. Yeah, and we'll go over it in the next live stream anyway. Now, tomorrow morning, I'm heading off tonight to do a presentation at the ATAA in Adelaide. So I won't be back. I'll be back early tomorrow morning on a nice early flight, the red eye, I guess. But whether or not I'll be in early enough to actually do the live stream, so we'll try to organise the guru, old Davin, to see if he can jump on. But we'll see how he goes. Again, he's getting a bit busy at the moment, so we'll see if we can jump on and do a quick talk. Otherwise, we may have to miss out that morning stream, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, let's get rolling. Let's start off. Any questions just to start off with? Otherwise, we'll just get straight into it and look at the market. So we're opened up. We're up 14 points. It was a pretty good night. Not so much in the US, but more in Europe. Europe had a good strong bounce off the previous lows, the previous down days they've had, and we had just the usual. In the US, it was up a few points, which is good. But obviously they're getting a few good. Obviously getting into that reporting season, they're starting to go a bit better. Some good results coming through, and now they're just looking to really see if those good results can keep flowing through and be a good quarter. Yeah, and that should really, you'd expect that to really lift up equities in the US, which would really give us a bit of a boost as well. We'll look at a few charts of the ASX just to see what's brewing on that and see what levels we've got. I think we looked at it this morning in the morning report. Sorry, the morning jumpstart. Just a 4-hourly chart, so a bit longer term. It's not the daily, but it's close enough to the daily chart. And we've got a. We'll look at the half an hour chart and just see what they look like there. And I'm just taking a bit of a squeeze at the market. Some few things we're looking at. We'll go through BWX. That's really starting to go well. I'll go through that in a minute. Well, let's just start off. Let's look at some charts. Well, that's not too bad at all, really. All right, let's look at this. It's a 4-hourly chart, so we're getting a price action, rolling over. We're looking at some highs at 55.10. So just trying to get an understanding of what's happening here. Just move that up. So a bit of an overall rundown. The major level is up at 56.10, right up there. We did back off there, then consolidate a bit, have another go at it, which we obviously couldn't continue higher. And with that, at one stage that was looking quite good. You got the high lows. Contraction in this zone here, and then looking to pop higher. It did pop higher. It just took out these inside levels, 55.70, say thereabouts, and then pretty much failed from there, quite miserably actually miserably. Rolled over, and then we found the base right down here. If we can just get that in there, so it's about this level in here, 51.50 thereabouts. So we discussed that quite a bit in the morning jump starts. Previously, but we'll just go over now. So that's a good anchor to that leg up. If we can drill out a bit more, just go. Sorry, just trying to get that a bit better. So we can see that trend up is holding on the daily chart. We are coming. This is kind of an important zone. Well, obviously it's an important zone. Whether we roll over from here or we bounce and we continue higher, and we hold that daily trend up. But the key level on that daily basis is the 51.50. Now that's anchoring that leg up at the moment, but whether that's a confirmed anchor or not is yet to be seen. Otherwise, we've got the anchor right down at 50.50. So that's anchored that leg up. We've made that leg, then we're starting to roll over, and potentially this is the next major anchor to push up, to continue this leg up and through 56, I'll say 30, 20, that 20, and take out those highs there and to make new highs for the year. But we'll see how that goes. If we drill back down, the problem is we've got, we have rolled over a bit, and it's pretty obvious, but just today we're showing some good signs of actually holding up and potentially kicking up again. But we'll see, going down to the half an hour chart, you can see that price action. The market does it time and time again. It does wash out levels. We know that that's going to be a strong level at 54.35. Can easily wash out. So I wouldn't get too caught up in just the open and what happens there. But now it needs to build a base if we're going to continue up. So it was washed out. It's taken out that downtrend there. So it looks like this 54.13 is going to hold. So you really need to wash what we're doing. We wash out, pull back, and build that high low. Somewhere in here, potentially above 54.13, even retest that zone and then push back up into the close. Back up through 54.35 would be nice, and then if we can get some continuation through the night higher, and that would lift us again for tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, that we could easily, I mean, I don't like this, we could easily just pop up, and now we could be going to consolidation. I mean, longer term, this is all longer term obviously, we could be capped at 54.60, bounce around, retest down to 53.78, and then bounce around that zone, so between support and resistance there, bounce around there before we head high in the longer term time frames. If you maybe draw that in, if we can just so meaning something like this, make those, that's not really working well, is it? Delete that out. So it's not going good, come on. Alright, pushing up, we've got that 54.60, pushing down from there, potentially retesting up there, not working our way back down to that support level 53.68, even washing it out and then bouncing straight back in. So that sort of price action it could be up until we make that higher low. If that worked out well. That's third time lucky. Let's just delete that out, try and grab that. What we like to see is that high low for that push up. So I think that's more what we want to see in a potential entry in through there. This is on the day, on the longer term anyway, so I would like to see that type of price action. We can pop up to 54.60. If we can't hold these levels, make that minor higher low to push up to 55.10 and through, we may retest down towards 53.78. Get into that overbought territory, but yeah, still some room to move easy enough, and it could hang around like we see up here. Go into overbought, there's no reason to just start selling willy-nilly. You've got to go off your price levels, but could easily hang around overbought and just edge its way higher. Any questions on that so far? I'll just check to see if we've got any emails through. No, not yet. Okay. Let's take a look at, we'll just go over the Aussie dollar. Always interesting to watch. That there, if we just drill right out, I'll just give it some room. It's going quite well on a longer term time frame. We're starting to, you can see this could potentially be a major level across here. Get rid of that, I don't like blue. Green. Major level in here. Looking to build, and we've pushed down, tagged that, and we're getting that longer term contraction lower, obviously. We pushed up, so we made that low there. If we can sort of just see in here, pushed down, made a lower low off that 77 or 77.30 zone, and then we've gone up and retested 77.10 say, and we pushed down. So potentially we're getting a head and shoulders there, just to continue that move higher. Oh, maybe we can try and get a daily. Actually, let's just get a daily up as well. It might help out just getting a longer term view. We'll get that daily up in a second. But you can see if it does, it's looking quite good, and it's coming off an oversold level down there. This is obviously the hourly, so I can easily bounce around between overbought and oversold. Now, if this leg up can hold, and we get that spike up through, which we like to see, and then we could probably pull back and build that high low in this region on the longer term time frame, and then bang, that could take us straight up and through 77.50, that sort of zone up there. If we get onto that daily, just have a bit of a longer term view of that. You can see, it's got some, it could easily do that. We could be holding this high low. Actually, let me just get up. A bit unorganized today by the looks of it. So major level there. It's washed out that zone there, and then we've sort of taken out this level in here, taken out this, which is sort of holding that daily trend down. We've got some other levels, some key levels right up here where we could be heading to. So you contracted up. That's held. This is the next leg down, was held down at 81.60. We bounced around, retested, bit of a washout. So you got another key level here at 73.59. Washed out there, bounced straight back up and up. And then we bounced straight back and up, and we look like we're in the process of holding this as a higher low. And you can see that sort of curving action. It's like head and shoulders, one shoulder, head, another shoulder. That could take us back up and straight up through, and we could be looking towards 81.65. And this is all very longer term on a daily basis, but it could easily wash out these shorts in here. So the shorts have came in up at that level there, pushed it down. Hasn't quite worked out. Maybe they've reshorted, people looking to short in here, but that price action, that really contraction in on itself there, and potentially this level holding us there. Whoop, that didn't quite work out. Probably better if it stands out. So that support in there, which we're just bouncing off really on a daily basis, that can easily just contract and then pop straight up. So we can sort of see we're in the midst of that at the moment. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, we could easily just roll over, take out this support line here, back and fill a bit, but I think the key level there on the daily, on the hourly chart at least, is 75.83. But it looks ready to pop up through and give that 77 a retest, and we've got some major resistance up there, 77.10, 76.90, and that's sort of 77 zone, all that area in there. I could easily just pop into that, wash out a few levels there, and then pull back in and make that high base to work from. If we can just quickly draw that up, let's see if I can get it together this time. We'll use a different color. So I mean, we can easily do this, then we fail to go through, pull back in, a bit of contraction there, a good wash again. It's not working out there, we're too far the edge of the left hand corner, but I guess you can understand what I'm talking about there. Wash out, take out these high, and then build for another move and engineer a move higher. We'll see how that goes. Alright, any questions there, guys? Anyone want to whack in the chart that we might want to look at? I do have one that I know someone would be looking at. We'll look at that in a minute. Okay, let's take a look at this Collins. Oh, bugger. Alright, it looks like on CKF, we were looking at 510 zone, which is a bit of a shame. Actually, it's just here. Let's just get that chart up there. We're looking up at that 510 zone. So we had our entry in here. Let's just try something new. We've got a new drawing, which I can draw over it. So if I can do this, there we go. This is a lot better, and we bring this across. Okay, so we can saw this. I can draw on this now. Quite fancy. Let's just make sure we're all good. All right, so we've got in at this. I think it's 4. That's not it. After break of that, I like this region in here. 463 it was. We got in that breakout up there. Initial risk was actually Initial risk wasn't there. Let's just draw this up again. So we had that breakout up there. Initial risk was down here, below that low. We could easily have popped it in there, put our risk level just below those minor high low there. But we got that pop out. So once we got, I think this is the level that was more important. We got that push up through there, and it was out of contraction, which looks really good. And then we had our first level we really want to get through 475 zone. We got through there, and we've worked our way up, targeting this 510. Now we were looking to have a partial exit up there, but we pretty much hit 508 yesterday, $5.08. So we're a couple of cents shy of really getting that profit target hit there. So the idea was really to try and lock in a gain. So we had our just a risk level there for a partial exit below $5, or if it's opened up and pushed higher to 510, great. If it dropped down, we just wanted to lock in some gains, which we've done. Just as of I think a few minutes ago, it has popped down to 496 or so. So that's all good. We've locked in some gains now. We're happy to leave, risk in this area. Let's just do that different color. We're happy to leave risk just in that zone around here, just to give it a bit of room to move. You don't want to tighten it up. If you tighten it up here, you could easily pull back. You can be completely right. Retest this 475, stop you out of the whole position, and then go hard. You'd hate to be getting caught if it trades up to $6, $6.50, or have a really good run up, a nice strong run up, because this potentially it's got a lot of room to move. If you look at the weekly, getting through 510 is not much, and getting through that 525 zone, it could easily push up really nice and strong. So you don't want to get chipped out on the second half and see that thing go on without you. So you can even widen that below those major. So you can put it back to 535, whatever you want. You've got pretty much a risk-free trade. Half of it's taken off for a profit, which is covered if you do get stopped out on that level back there. But that's a nice key level. It's holding that support line, that trend line up. Even if you put it somewhere, risk somewhere around here, 440, whatever you like. But just keeping it below that trend line there, below that support line. Keeping it in there, give it some nice room to move now. But yeah, we're happy just to keep it above entry. I think this is the next target. This line, it could just pull back, edge its way lower, retest 475 to break out, build another high low, major high low, and then go. Okay, we've got a question in about understanding the stochastics. I've been trying to understand how to use the stochastic. Is it just an indicator of momentum? Do you use fast or slow stochastic, and what is the difference anyway? I like stochastics. Yeah, it's more. I'm using it. You can use fast, slow. I've got mine set at 11, so it's just 11 periods, so 11 candles, I guess. The movement over the last 11, up or down, and the way it's not really so much looking at for overbought, oversold as such. You can view it that way. People use it for divergence and all sorts of things, but that's all good. I use it more for the strength of the move up or down. I'll see if we can find you an example. Probably not on this one. If we just move that out, drop that lower. Oh, where's my chart? Alright, so let's just try to analyze. This is the weekly chart of CKF. Let's just try to get something in there just to explain stochastics a bit. The way we view it anyway. It's not the be all and end all like any indicator. You've got to take it with a grain of salt. It is first and foremost for me, and I think chatting to Davin, he'd agree too. It's the price structure. Looking at that price structure. That's why sometimes we are. You don't necessarily always want to buy. The idea is to sell in overbought and buy in oversold levels, but there's times when you are buying in overbought, or it's getting towards overbought, like here, because the price structure looks so good. There's no reason why you can't get those hard extensions, especially when that price structure is looking good. It's worked its way up, and then it could easily pop out, take out and not really go too far on the stochastic. So you're really trying to look at it, say for strength. If you're looking at this weekly chart and you're thinking where to buy, you obviously don't want to buy when it's broken out to new highs. You're really just looking for a correction. There's times where we'll keep going. It'll keep going higher and go on without you, but that's too bad. Just go and look for another stock, in my opinion. There's always something else out there. But what you're trying to do, if you've got this, say this move up, and you started viewing it here, you go, okay, it's hitting overbought. The strength up has been pretty good, so that strength has come from oversold, or that territory, say down here. Whoop, make that look a bit nicer. Down here, and it's gone to overbought. So that's a strong move. So we've seen the strength in the move up, which is good. Now we've got this move down. Okay, we can't take out, if we can take out this, it's just a different color. We can't take out this low. That's the important level at the moment. If we just draw that in a bit better. We can't take out that low. We've come into here, which is about $2. But that move down, it was pretty solid. It wasn't too bad at all. It's come down. It's a good strong move down, but the price itself is actually holding up. So that's why you're looking at for more the strength in the move, and as using price as well, always take into account what price action is doing, what the price is, is it holding up. So if that's a weakness in the move and it's going to break that trend, you'd expect it to be a sharper move down, not just this type of price action, edging its way down. That's it's moved down, but that's sharp where there's no real pullbacks. It's just bang straight down. You don't want to see that action with that type of stochastic. It's moved down. It's a strong move, but the price itself is actually taken out lows. It's retesting lows. You more want to see it edge down and buys starting to step in at different levels, but holding that price. So once you get into oversold territory, if we can just go back a bit. So back at this level, we've got that, these two levels will analyze there. So this is probably a really good example, actually. So we've had another move up. So that's your sort of your waves. You're getting your waves there. So in buying sort of in this zone, it's extending up. It's contracting back in. You're trying to find a zone where to buy. You're oversold here. That's great. You get that push out, taking out the highs. So you're getting that stair stepping action up. Now up here, obviously, in overbought territory, you wouldn't want to buy in there. You want to look to see some contraction, and you got that through here. But again, price is not pulled back strong. It's just edged down. Made a little minor low, a little minor higher low, lower low, and started to hold up here. And it's actually popped up, pulled back. So that potentially in there is a good little. If you can mark that up, that's a good little buy zone. If you can jump in there, you even might have to go down to a daily chart just to see what the price action looks like. But on a weekly basis, you can see that's pushed down. Price hasn't pushed down hard, as in distance-wise, but it's in oversold. So I like this, the strength of the move down. In essence, it's running out of steam, but it's holding higher levels, and that's what you want to look at. That's the way I would use this. That's the way I do use stochastics more than anything else. And then sooner or later, you get that nice strong move up, which would have been great. I hope that makes sense there, Paul. Yeah, but I'm using stochastics not so much to say is the market oversold, what's meant to happen, because it can easily stay overbought or oversold for a while and just keep taking people out. So you use that in conjunction with price action and failed attempts to go lower, like this is actually the prime area. We just draw that up, getting quite fancy with it. That's probably a prime area to me on movement, because taking all this into account, it's had a nice strong move down, price has held up. It has, the selling's been fairly strong, but the buying's also been equivalent. It's been nice and strong, and it's just getting into a nice good buy zone. And then you got that failed attempt to go lower to take out this low. It's sort of retested up towards the highs, made that higher low, and then that's a prime area I think to buy into. Anyway, that was a bit of a long-winded explanation there. Any other questions there, guys? Anything that on stochastic at least? But yeah, with that, your actual stochastic settings, take your pick, whatever suits you. One idea is to just try to take those moves, from high to low, just how many days. It could take 10 days, 5 days, whatever that. But you can change stochastics as you go, depending on the stock. But I find that 11 works quite well. 11, 12, 13. We'll give you a similar type of answer there, but you want something that's hitting overbought, oversold levels just to get ideas. Okay, let's go to the market's up 17, so it's not continuing on with it, but still looking good. This is MTS is another one we've got. It's holding that $2 level. Oh, that's weekly, isn't it? Let me just change that back. I thought that looked a bit strange. So we bought it after we saw this candle here. We were buying an alert was around 215. It spiked higher. It's pulled back below 210. We still got our risk just below there. So it looks like it could. It's finding. I mean, that is not a strong price action for a move higher, but we'll see how that goes. That overall price action still looks good. Solid support at $2. That's a good rejection candle there, and it could easily get bought up into the close and push back up to 215. It's still 210, 211. It's been around there for a few days, bouncing in that zone. We're still happy to see that one play out. BWX, I think we spoke about that this morning also. That's been grinding higher. We've got a 505 entry there, and it's 515. So it's only 10 cents up at the moment, but I think they could easily do this type of price action. Actually, yeah, no, it can do this type of price action. It's contracted in on itself, which has done some major contraction here, big washout to the downside. Pop back up, retested that support's held a minor higher low, then another higher low here, and then you can see that price action contraction and then pop. I don't know if that was on the back of the news, but it's popped up, taken out this lower high here at 480, and then it's worked its way up. So that's nice support. You're finding high lows are holding. This could grind up just like this type of action, and that would be nice if we can just grind up to 560 or so, 570, retest those highs. Even the weekly still looks quite good. You got that sort of curving price action we like to see there. That's always good, and sooner or later you may get, if sellers are coming in or people are waiting to buy or pull back and it's not happening, you might just get them all just jump in. Longer term ones, at least you get longer term buyers might even have jump in here with the risk right down here. I don't like to trade that way, but it could be done easy enough. Qantas, it's holding above 310, still for a buy. I don't mind that. It hasn't gone exactly to plan. It did push up through the 322 zone, so we're entered long, pushed up towards 330, and it's pulled back since, but it is still holding this 315, that sort of area in there, that area. So the main thing is it's holding above 310, because that's, we touched down there, pushed up, made a lower high on that move down, rejected 310, traded below, washed out there, and then went and retested it and just taken out that minor lower high in here at 320. I think it's 321, 320 actually, 321. So as soon as we saw that retest to 310 and that started holding up, then we're looking for that break. We still could get that higher low in here and that sort of curve up and push higher, and we'll see how that plays out. Let's just look at a few other. Let's just quickly go over the sectors and have a bit of a. Actually, try over here. What am I looking at? Looking for sectors. I'm missing it. Here we go. Just to get an idea, what's energy? That's looking quite good. You can see. Let's get our little sniffing tool again. Let's just get that in there. Consumer staples, what am I talking about? It's not energy. So you can see this, don't mind this at all, we've got good support around this level here. We've had it come in and made another good support zone just in there at 80, and then we've got this curving type of price action, which is good. If we can draw that in there, which we like to see, so it's come down, roll over, and then it's building. So that sort of wave, it does that time and time again, if you can see that. So you're really just looking to oscillate, lower highs. You've got a nice little in here. That would have been a nice short to work off. You can see it's holding, touched up there and then roll over again. But you've got this rejection of 80, quite a few times in here, and that's starting to hold up. Then we've taken out these sort of highs here, bit of consolidation there, popped up, pulled back, made that higher low, and then it's gone. So expecting it to work its way back up into sort of this zone here, but we'll see how that goes. So that's consumer staples. Let's look at the next. I don't see anything too flash there. That's, it obviously is trending up higher, but daily is starting to roll over. You don't know what's going to happen there. Let's just look at, oh, not much energy. Energy's a tough one because I think oil's starting to get supported. So we'll just have to see if that can hold up. But that on a weekly doesn't look so great. We've got that move. It's like this top zone in here. Again, we'll use our little screen tool here. You're getting alright, so I've got a key level sort of just in here. Well, it's just in here, and if you can see, change colors. I like my colors. So you can see that that's edged up higher and it's broken down. It hasn't. Well, it's horrible, isn't it? It has made sort of that push up through there, bit of a wedge pattern there, and then it failed. We could potentially just be doing the same type of thing, bit of a longer term wedge pattern, and then fail lower. But we'll have to see how that plays out. It tends to do that a lot. It can easily just grind, push up here and then pop. It's sort of done it here and then pop down. It could be doing that and then straight down. We'll have to see how that plays out, but I think supportive of that, supportive of higher prices on the energy sector is crude oil, if it can hold up, and I think that could potentially be doing that. So we'll see. Financials is another good one. I actually don't mind that at all. You get in these higher lows holding, but again, it's more contractive action than anything, looking like a trend. But then again, let's get back to our little. Just go in here. So you've had, that's not good. Can't even see it. Support down here, so the market's worked its way off that level there, and we've got that higher low holding in here, again here, in here, in here. That's obviously failed, and then we've got that pullback lower. But what it's looking to do is break out of that contraction lower, and it's starting to hold higher lows again, which is nice. So really, I think the key is to get out of that level. That looks pretty good, that type of price action for higher levels, to break through there, as we did in here. You've got that pop up above that high, a little washout, a pullback, build the higher low, which we seem to potentially have done the same type of price action here. Take out the recent high here, bit of a washout, pull back, build the high low at 57.50, and then we could go again and get stronger action and more consistent price action higher, and just really move on. We could be moving up to this level here. This is a sector anyway, so looking at things like banks, any financials could be worthwhile just at the time, but we'll see how that plays out. Materials, nothing flash there. Metals and mining. Materials, yeah, similar type of thing. It is popping up. That monthly's not looking too great on this sector. Weekly, yeah, it's had that push up start of the year, but again we're starting to get in some resistance levels up there, so we'll see how that plays out. So it's starting to get a bit, actually it's oversold down there, but it could easily get overbought quite quick, and it's not going to get, this move up here is quite good. It didn't take out the highs by too much at all, above 90. It could easily get in here, retest up through there, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, if there's any more questions, any charts quickly to look at. Let me just quickly check something that we're all going well. Alrighty. Not much. Probably the last one we could have a quick look at. We alerted it yesterday. I just always forget the code. Now we've got, this is it, AHZ. Now, this is the actual chart here. And I do, it had some, they were looking for an approval in the US. I can't remember exactly what it was, a drug or to sell into the US, and they've got that approval, so I think they're going to go live selling that in November sometime. SPK, alright Paul, I'll look at that in 2 minutes. Got a good approval for that. So if we go into, let's have a quick look at that. Okay, so it's had a good base. It's pushed up quite strong. Obviously, I think that's on the back of the news as well. Strong, and then it's just been sold off back down to that same sort of zone. If we can look at that, it is holding higher lows. If we just put that up there, it is holding high low. It's got a low in here, and it's holding a higher low now. Well, it was, it's just popped up now. That's a good support zone. You can see it's touched it, and this is a weekly chart, don't forget. Touched it a few times, had a good spike up, made that minor, if we can draw that in there, minor high low just on a daily basis. So it's getting bought up at slightly higher levels. Now there's a lot of room to move for this chart. You know, we've got that's probably ideal. It's been perfect, been a bit, but you've also got this zone which is starting to get, so starting to hold those zones and looking like it could easily pop up. Now obviously yesterday had some good news. If we just go into a daily, that's no good. Just go into a daily chart here and we'll analyze that one a bit better. It's holding those, getting good at this now. So we've got these whole, well, that's not what I wanted to do. It's got that whole high low, another high low. It's all holding, and then it's popped up, taken out these levels in here, washed it straight out, and traded straight up into that resistance zone up there. Only half a cent shy of that high. With the news, you know, it's fantastic news. Going to release in November into the US, massive market. So that's really going to be great for them, and this could potentially go a lot higher. Obviously, get that reaction up, initial reaction up on the news. Awesome, great. You're going to get that quick profit taking. You know, intraday traders, whoever, short-term traders are going to obviously take profit up there. But I think this could potentially, you know, so we've got this move up. We could easily get that reaction lower. Whether we come back and test that 40 zone, and we may get a bit of this, and then, you know, really take us up to some new highs. So I think that zone in there, you know, failed. You get that big move down with profit taking, which is all fair enough. Get the buyers stepping back in somewhere around 40 to 42 or up to 45. It's around 43.5 at the moment. Maybe the latecomers just don't like it for whatever reason, just want out, get sold off slightly, so they buyers step in a bit earlier and then get that pop up. That would be great prior to that high getting taken out at 55. That would be a nice little setup, especially with the back of the fundamentals, on the back of those fundamentals coming through. Yeah, and that could potentially get up to straight through 55. You've got some, you know, zones up at 67, right up here at 85, you know, right through that again at 92. So there's a lot of room to move higher. Anyway, last but not least, let's take a look at for Paul SPK. Okay, let's start obviously monthly. Yeah, moving low, and the key level on the monthly, I mean, this is miles away. This is all just longer term, but just taking note. Key level holding that leg down is right up here around 475. So it's $1.50 away roughly. That's held that move down to $1.25 or $1.25, that zone in here, and then we bounced off there. So if this monthly trend was going to continue lower, it's a good zone. It really is you know, what we tend to look at, any leg down, 1/3 to 2/3 sort of bounce or pullback, whether up or down. If the market moves up, 1/3 to 2/3 sort of contraction lower, building that higher low, and then going in reverse for a sell. So 1/3 to 2/3 would take us somewhere around, you know, roughly where it is here. Doesn't mean too much. Obviously, that's the weekly. There's a lot of room to make money on the, you know, in the lower time frame charts. But what we're seeing is sort of the opposite on that weekly chart. You had a good base here. That's the 120, 110, 120 zone support. You've got that little washout. Oh, let's just do our little fancy drawings again. Yep, so we've got the don't like that. Alright, you've got that little low here. It's washed it out slightly in this zone. You know, to push up, wash it out, and that's a good sign. It's bang straight back up, made a higher low here, and that's sort of kicked off that trend, that retracement straight back up against the monthly trend lower. So we are holding higher lows at the moment. There's a major one down here, so that's probably the biggest problem, is that this through here is potentially just broken. So on the weekly, if we're going to pull back, if that's the high there, we could, well, if we can measure, if we can just give you a rough estimate, I like to do this there, volatility down. Oh, that's no good. I can't move that, can I? Alright, what I like to do is actually move that and project that down, so it's taken us, let's try and measure that. So it's somewhere around 330 down to 210. That's $1.20. Yeah, that's rough around here. That looks a fair bit lower. Is that right? 330 to 40, so 340 down to $2. Oh, $2.40. That's $1. So 380 down to 280. Yeah, so it's about here. Oh, that was lucky. So you've got that move down. It could easily just, you know, continues trend up. You've got that nice move up, contraction on the weekly, another move up, and potentially contracting back down towards that $2.93 zone. Yeah, I agree with you, Paul. You're sort of getting to that zone where you wouldn't really, I mean, taking a note of that, that's quite a strong move down. So this is just what we talked about before with stochastics. That's your key level there at the moment on the weekly. That base that's held, holding that leg up, and that's starting to fail. That current leg up looks like it's potentially failing. So we get down to 290 thereabouts. It's starting to get in that zone on the weekly. You know, buy zone. It is. I think it's still got some ways to go. But yeah, if we just break that down one more level. Yes, I think that's the current leg. So that's the current leg up there. Do our fancy little trick again. Okay. So that's, again, so that's your current holding the trend higher. We've got that move up here, and now we're really just contracting. And like we said, we don't know where it's going to go. It could easily, sort of in this zone, you know, say $3 thereabouts, could easily get down to here. So it's bouncing around, you know, oversold on the daily, it's oversold on the weekly, so it is getting in that zone, and there's support just here which could easily hold that up. It could really just test down, wash out that 315 down to 310, and it could push down, but that could hold it up above that projected move down. And then what you want to look for is just the usual, this type of price action come down, maybe washing out, and then start getting that type of price action there, and looking for that higher low to build. Always important to get off those higher lows if you can, and it's always a good sign just after a bit of a washout like that. You know, you've got the low, it's pushed up, popped down, washed out that level. If we can see that just in here, bit of a washout, and then bounce straight back hard. Got your high low in here, great little trade, and then you can just follow it up. Yeah, so that's potentially what we could be expecting around 315. All right, hope that helped, Paul. Yeah, but something to keep on the radar for sure, all right, we'll call it a day there. If there's no other questions, nothing come through, we'll call it a day, and I'll be off tonight to Adelaide to the ATA meeting, so wish me luck. not the world's best talker when I could see faces over the over the mic's okay, but we'll see how we go tonight. So I don't think I'll be able to do that presentation obviously tomorrow morning to the live stream, but we will obviously continue on Friday, and we'll see if we can. See if I can get Davin, like I said, get him involved, and see if he can jump on for a few minutes tomorrow morning. Always good to hear his opinions. He's one thing Davin's really good at is explaining, and I love the way he explains things. So it's always helped me out a hell of a lot. So anyway, thanks very much, guys, and we'll speak to you. If not tomorrow, we'll speak to you the next day on Friday morning. Cheers.